Hello to all John Knox residents. I'm Ron Clement. As many of you know, I am currently the president of the resident council, and we have new officers coming in as of April 1st. And today what I'm going to do is introduce each of those officers to you, and we'll talk a little bit about the kinds of things they've done at John Knox and who they are. And I'm going to start out with our new president, who is currently vice president. She takes over as president on April 1st, and that's Fran Baker. Welcome.
Thank you. As Ron said, I'm Fran Baker. I've lived in Lee Summit more than 50 years, and I've been at John Knox about 6.5 years. During that time, I've been a neighborhood rep, chair of District 4, served on the Resident Services Committee, chair of that committee. Currently, I'm on the Health Services Committee. I have volunteered at the Care Center, Lee Summit Social Services. I deliver the voice, and I look forward to working with a great bunch of people here.
Sounds good. How many musical instruments do you play?
I listen to music very well.
Okay. Well, you have been a very, very involved individual, and I knew that. I first met Fran when I moved here, and I'm in District 4, Hope Lane, and so I'm a neighborhood rep, and I would meet with Fran on the District 4 committee with all the neighborhood reps, and that's when I discovered, first of all, she's very well organized, she's very positive, and she just really likes to get things done, and working with her has been a real joy for me. I told my wife this more than once. I always feel better about an issue after I've talked to Fran.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
well,
I mean that. Yeah, that's fine. But I'm glad to see her stepping in as president. She'll do a wonderful job. She's good at dealing with people. If you ever have to call her, she'll take care of you, and it's going to be a very good experience. So thank you very much.
All righty.
And now we're going to have Janet Kroll, who was just elected vice president, and she will also begin on April 1st. And tell us about yourself.
Well, good morning. My name is Janet Kroll, and I first moved to Lee Summit in 1990, raised my 2 children here, and never thought that I would be at John Knox Village, but am I glad that I am. It was at my son's suggestion that I check it out. And I've become very involved since I've been here. I have sung with the Choraleers, Women's Treble Clef. I've volunteered at assisted living. I have been in 4 plays, and Ron has been casted with me, or I with him. I'm vice president of the theater board. I chair the Resident Services Committee, and I just love all the connections, all the welcoming that I have felt since I have been here. It feels like family, my second family. And that's what I hope to continue, the great work that Fran did as vice president, meeting with the neighborhood reps. And I want to continue her good work and continue the feeling of camaraderie, togetherness, even in spite of this pandemic, keeping us all feeling like we have a home.
Very good. Yeah, that's good to hear. Now, on resident council, I didn't get a chance to actually work closely with Janet, except in the executive committee meeting and maybe the resident council meeting itself. But as she indicated, we got to know each other pretty well through our work in the John Knox Village Theater, which my wife directs. And we have been in 4 plays together, and she's a joy to work with, and she always knows her lines. And but it's been a very delightful experience, and she's done a great job running her committee. And as you can see, she too is a go-getter. She's been involved in a lot of stuff, and once again, a very positive person. Always enjoy talking to her. She called me this morning at 10 to 9. She was here early. She was the only one here. And when I saw her name on my phone, not once did I think, uh-oh, we're in trouble. She's not going to make... I said, no, she's probably already over there. And she was. So just a delight to work with, and glad to be working with you in the future.
Thank you, Ron.
Okay. One thing I forgot to mention about Fran, and Janet did mention it, Fran was the vice president who began the meetings periodically with all the neighborhood representatives so they could talk about what's going on in the neighborhoods and how they could do their jobs better. I'm a neighborhood rep, so I've attended those meetings, and she's really gotten that going in a very strong way. Okay, next is Sandy Hunt. And I'm going to tell you right up front that Sandy's not new. She's the secretary, and she will continue, come a little closer. And I guess you became secretary 4 years ago.
Yes.
Yes, okay. And so tell us when you moved in and what you've been involved in and all about yourself.
Well, I was one of the first residents at Building D. So I got a chance to help organize the resident council neighborhood representatives. And so I've been working as a neighborhood representative since I've been there.
Okay.
And enjoyed it very much. It's been a real blessing to be able to work with resident council and get to know so many different people. I would recommend it to anybody that wants to become more acquainted. I came to John Knox from Independence, actually, where I taught school for 25 years. And I'm so glad to be at John Knox. It's been a delight to be here. I've stayed active. I support the coffee shop. I love to get a latte in the afternoon. That's been my practice all during the pandemic. So anyway, I've come to know so many dear people, and I have appreciated my job with resident council. One thing I didn't know when I became a part of the resident council was that if you say yes to being a secretary, it's not a 2-year term. It goes on and on and on. And I certainly have enjoyed the time that I've been doing this. And as long as Fran and Janet need me to write up their notes, I'll be glad to do that.
That's good.
All I have to do is turn up my hearing aids.
There you go.
And then everything's fine.
Good, good. Well, I'll tell you, I have enjoyed. I've been working with Sandy now regularly for the whole 2 years I've been president, and I'll tell you, she is excellent as secretary. If you've never been secretary, and I have of different organizations, knowing what to record when people are talking about as fast as I'm talking right now, knowing when to ask questions to clarify something. And she always writes the minutes very promptly, sends them to me, and they're all, you know, if there's anything in there that's wrong, it's usually the committee chair's report and not Sandy, but she corrects it. And she's just so thorough. And there's one main feature in which she's, I think, a lot like I am. She likes things done the way they're supposed to be done. And, and so we're compatible in that way, and it works out really well. So thank you for being secretary while I've been president, and I'm glad you're going to continue.
One thing that I might mention, Ron, is that our minutes are preserved. You may think that they're not, not knowing what happens to them, but from the beginning of the resident council, there have been minutes, hard copy minutes, that have been preserved over at the administration building.
Yep.
So that's it's very nice when you can look back and see what's going on with the resident council.
And that's good to hear.
Yeah.
Thanks, Andy. And now Fran is going to come up and, among other things, I believe announce the next meeting and close this meeting because she's going to be the new president. I'm going to step aside.
Well, and we want to thank you for your years of service, so we'll clap what is that, the round of applause we do on Zoom?
Thank you very much.
Thank
appreciate it.
All right. Our next speaker, which would be actually the May meeting, will be Lori Johnson. She's Vice President of Human Resources, and she'll be sharing the results of the Associate Satisfaction Survey. That should be very interesting, and we hope you'll watch.